Welcome to Wanderlust. My name is Jonty.
And I'm Millie. Today we're going to be talking about some of the things that we'll be trading when we move to Singapore. In particular, some of the things outside, some of the things that we can do outside, the things that we've got near our local area here in Surrey, and the things that we'll have when we move to Singapore.
The first thing that we'll talk about is the fact that we live in a house at the moment, and as with most houses in the UK, we also have a garden. We are also really fortunate to have a beautiful, huge meadow, I think it's probably about 20 acres, at the back of the house, and where the children can just go and play. One of the things that we love about this place is that we can just open the back door, big sliding door, and the children can just go out and play in the garden. They can find bugs, they can dig up stuff. We've got this little pond area which is often find frogs in it. And they just love being outside. We have a gate to the meadow. There's only about 8 houses that have access to it, and so the children can go out there and play as much as they want. We give them a walkie-talkie each, and when it's time for them to come in, we just shout at them and get them to come in. So it's lovely. We're going to miss that for sure. I guess in contrast, we're going to be staying in a condo, which has got all sorts of other facilities.
Yeah, the condo that we're looking at in particular, it's got a few swimming pools, which will be amazing. There's a heated one as well, which I will make full use of.
I don't know why you need a heated pool in 32 degree heat.
Because the water isn't that hot, it gets cold. Anyway, we'll have a swimming pool. The kids love swimming, so that'll sort of be our main, instead of running around in the garden, it'll be splashing around in the swimming pool, which will be really lovely, and it'll be a nice novelty at the start, and to get the kids learning how to swim as well. Another thing we enjoy doing, sort of whatever the weather really is, we've got a fire pit in the garden, and it's been really lovely teaching the children how to make fire. We tried doing it with a magnifying glass.
Magnifying glass worked really quickly, that was crazy.
Yeah, we tried that. We've tried a flint. You strike the flint and no, try that. We even tried rubbing wood drill. That wasn't quite so successful, but it's really fun to try. And then when we do get the fire going, we're like toasting marshmallows, and we've put a grill on the top of it as well, and we've been having barbecues outside in the evening. Yeah,
we're going to miss that a lot, but in Singapore, in this condo complex that we've been talking about, there are options of hiring out for free. You kind of just have to book it. Barbecue areas where we can still entertain people and have friends around. It's not quite the same, we can't just pop back inside when the evening comes or whatever, but we can still invite them up. It'll be a bit of a walk and a elevator up to our apartment, and we still will be able to do that, but it'll just be different. We'll have to adapt a little bit. Here in Surrey, we have that beautiful meadow that I talked about out back, which just provides us with an incredible backdrop and a wonderful view. We often see deer in there as well, and that is just so nice to watch, and it's peaceful and tranquil. Singapore, you don't really get views, to be honest. As we said, living in an apartment block, you end up with just overlooking somebody else's apartment or a bunch of roofs, and not very often anything nature. So that is a big trade-off that we're going to have to deal with. It's a view here that we're going to miss greatly as well. In fact, our next door neighbours were thinking about moving recently, and they viewed a load of different houses, and none of them had a view that compared to this, and so they've decided to stay put.
The complex will also have a walk around the area, and they decorate them really, really nicely with lots of foliage and trees, little waterfalls, a pond area that has fish in it. There's lots of little areas and nooks and crannies that you can go to and sort of sit and enjoy the area around it. There's a play area. There's a
kids play area.
Like a water play park as well. So that'll be really fun.
I guess one of the things that I feel is the tricky thing to let go of is that we've got such a natural nature vibe going on here in Surrey. We were lucky enough to the kids started growing up in Norfolk. We had a beautiful pond and wooded area, so they're very, very used to being in nature. And I think in Singapore it's going to be slightly different, but they still get an element of nature, not just in the immediate, but also when we go on day trips.
There's a place that we've been to before called McRitchie. It's a reservoir. You can canoe there. You can go on treetop walks as well, and lots of other little walks around. There's turtles in the water. There's fish. There's also lots of monkeys around. And there was one trip that we walked through, the rainforest. You could hear them overhead in the trees, and I was a little bit worried that one of them might try and get in the buggy to get the food that we had for the kids, because there's these big signs everywhere that's got a picture of food crossed out with an angry looking monkey next to it. So although we'll be saying sort of goodbye to squirrels and robins and things like that in the garden, we'll be saying hello to monkeys in the trees.
And the birds are pretty cool as well. We've seen some like toucan, hornbilly sort of things over there. And hornbilly sounds like hornbilly sort of things. And we've seen parrots and all sorts of different wildlife out there. Here in Surrey, we are so fortunate to be a 2-minute walk away from all sorts of woodland, and the children just love climbing trees and grabbing spiders and bugs and playing with them and collecting caterpillars and that sort of thing. And I think that's going to be a hard thing for us, because we love that. You know, the trade-off is that the nature's going to be different. You know, there's lots of other bugs out there and creepy crawlies that might not be as friendly as the ones here in the UK. But I guess in contrast to the woodland stuff that we get to do here, like we said, there's rainforest over in Singapore. As well as McRitchie, we've visited the Sungai Buloh Wetlands Reserve, which is featured in a David Attenborough thing called The Wild City. You should check it out. There's 4 different parts. It's pretty amazing. But when we went there, we came face to face with a king cobra, which is the world's largest venomous snake. And it was just bizarre to see it just crossing the pathway in front of us, and local photographers taking pictures of it. It was pretty weird. And some other snakes that we've seen there, so we've just got to be a bit more aware when the kids are getting into trees and stuff.
There's a little island that you can get to on a little bum boat, and we've been on it before, to a place called Pulau Ubin, and you sit and you wait for the boat, and when there's 12 passengers you get on the boat and off it goes.
Yeah, there's no timetable.
There's no timetable. You just kind of wait and hope that a load more people want to come and go as well.
Apparently, if you can't bother to wait, basically you just say, right, I'll pay for all 12, and then we'll just go.
So you can go to Ubin, and there's literally nothing there. I think there's one restaurant which was a little bit dodgy.
Yeah, I think we had a bad experience, but apparently some of the food there's okay.
But there's nothing on the island.
It used to be a quarry of some sort. Last time we were there, I had a really nice conversation with one of the locals, a guy who actually lives on Ubin. There were at one point, I think, 5,000 residents permanently on the island. And I think he said there's only about 100 now. So there's not very many at all. And most of them work there either as people who look after the rainforests or people who own shops or restaurants on the island. Many people say that Pulau Ubin is like Singapore 65, 70 years ago, and it's just sort of been untouched and undeveloped. And that's, I guess, what we love about it, is this rustic sort of place. For me, one of the trade-offs from Surrey, we live in the Surrey Hills, which is officially an area of outstanding natural beauty, a bit like my wife. And I have this beautiful place here where there's just a lovely viewpoint, and it doesn't take us long to get up, but we get to look out and enjoy that. There is an equivalent of that for me in Singapore, which is on Pulau Ubin. It is a bit called Puaka Hill, or sometimes people call it Mount Puaka, and you basically walk up and it opens out this lovely viewpoint looking over what was a quarry. It's now just a massive lake and loads of rainforest as well, and it's just a gorgeous place. I love just sitting up there and just taking in the views.
We really enjoy going for bike rides or scooting or skateboarding as a family, and there'll be lots of opportunities to do that in Singapore as well. As we said, on Pulau Ubin you can hire bikes. If you want one with brakes, it's about £2.50. If you're a cheapskate and you want one without brakes, it's about £1.
I like saving my money.
You can ride on lots of paved areas, or you can go a little bit off the beaten track like we did. So going downhill off-road with no brakes is quite a scary experience. But it's a really good way to explore the island and sort of find all the little coves and all the nature that they've got there as well. There's a place called East Coast Park, and you can again hire bikes there and cycle along the seafront as well.
When we were in Norfolk, we were 20 minutes away from our nearest beach, and over the summer we'd spend nearly every day just on the sand, enjoying all of that with the kids. And they'll just love being on the beach.
The beaches in Norfolk, the sand just goes for miles and miles, and because we lived so close, we'd often just pop down there and go and get fish and chips, or just one time we dug for mussels and we took them home and cooked them, and it was really nice. So living in Surrey, that's probably one of the things I've missed most living here.
We went and found this beach south of here called Worthing. Those of you who live in Worthing, I'm sorry, we just had the worst day. It was nasty. I don't want to say too much more. If you really want to know about our experience at Worthing, feel free to ask.
The photos were very misleading.
Very
on their
misleading.
little council website.
Yeah, it wasn't nice. But Singapore's got some really, really nice beaches. Back on point. Singapore's got some lovely beaches, and East Coast Park is one of them. It's got like a pathway along the whole coast, really, and you can hire bikes there for cheap as well. All of those ones come with brakes. It's a lot less rustic than Ubin, and there's places to eat all along the way as well. Another great beach that we like to go to when we're in Singapore is on Sentosa Island. Sentosa Island is just the island south of Singapore, but also part of Singapore, and they've got a beach there called the Pulau Ubin beach. It is man-made as far as we know, but it's a beautiful beach, and it's gorgeous. It's just lovely to spend time there.
We decided to talk about this in terms of trading because we don't really feel like we're losing out by sort of saying goodbye to some of these things. We feel more like we're gaining lots of things. So we're going to have lots of new experiences as a family, and we're going to look forward to, like we talked about, the rainforest and all the different bugs and insects that we can explore, and the new apartment that we're going to live in. And we're looking forward to when friends and family can come and visit, so that we can show people all these other things that we've managed to find as well.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us today. Please do like, please comment, let us know what you're enjoying about our videos. Please do send through some suggestions. Also hit the subscribe button, it'll be great for you to be able to get updates, and we hope to see you again soon. Take care, bye bye.
Bye.